In this book, one of the things I saw was that she used a lot of her personal life experiences, and I really like that. I mean, she just put out a lot. I mean, it takes a lot to put out a lot. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lade. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. We have gist to gist. Just give me a few minutes. Let me welcome the new subscribers. If this is your first time of tuning into my channel, you're very much welcome. My name is Lade Owolabi, and I make videos from the city of Abeokuta, Ogun State, Nigeria. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a book review, but before that, I just wanted to talk a little bit to my returning subscribers. I'm sorry I've been away for a little over 2 weeks, I think. I've been away because of some technical issues and also personal issues. Okay, the technical one was from my last video. When I posted my last video, I love engaging with you guys, and one of the things that was said a lot in the comments was that my videos were echoing, and that's because my mic had gotten bad. My lapel mic, which I'm using one right now, I don't know if you can see right here. So I got a new one, and that's why I'm back. That's the reason why that video was kind of sounding off, because it was a little echoey, not a little, a lot. So I'd done videos ahead of time, but they were just not good enough to publish, and I wasn't going to put out, something that you guys had corrected, you know what I mean? So I'm going to be deleting those videos and refilming, which is what I'm doing now. So on today's video, like I said earlier, I am going to be reviewing this amazing book by this amazing lady. The book is titled The Runaway Bride. Don't worry, I'll show you while I'm talking. I'll show you like clips of what I'm talking about here. The Runaway Bride by Heather Lindsey. Heather Lindsey is the founder of the Pinky Promise movement, and she's also a co-pastor of the Gathering Oasis Church in Atlanta, Georgia. This is Heather Lindsey. Let's get into the review. On this channel, I make videos about faith, food, lifestyle, motherhood, hair, beauty, everything, just my life. Okay, and one thing that I've been doing for a while is Faith Fridays, videos that go up every Friday. But this year, all my Faith Friday videos are going to be relationship based. However, there's something else that I plan to do every last Friday of the month, is a book review. On today's video, I'll be reviewing Heather's Runaway Bride, The Runaway Bride. Okay, let's get started. So I like to start with the structure of the book, the outlook. How does the book look like? Okay, so here is the book. The book is a paperback book, and it also is laminated like the last one I showed you. Okay, paperback means that the back cover is not hard, so look, it can bend. Okay, that's paperback. So laminated means that when you put water on it, it won't penetrate. Okay, because these papers inside are not laminated, but the ones on the top usually is laminated, so that you don't ruin the book when something pours on it. But this lamination is not a gloss lamination like the last book I showed you. I believe that one was a gloss one. This is a matte. It has a matte finish, so it's not shiny. It's a little dull, but it's usually more mature, sometimes more expensive. I'm not into publishing, my husband is, so I don't really know the pricing. And the front has the title, which is The Runaway Bride, and then it has like a tagline: are you living for Jesus, or are you running from him? And then it says by Heather Lindsey. Okay, on the spine of the book, it has the title and the author without the tagline. It just says The Runaway Bride, Heather Lindsey. And in the back, it has a charge to return back to your first love. I don't know who wrote this, but it doesn't sound like, it sounds like third person. It doesn't sound like it was Heather that wrote it. Okay, let me read the first and the last paragraph of this charge. It says, have you ever sat in a church service week after week but went home and continued to live a life outside of Christ? Have you ever led a Bible study and looked like you were perfect but you were suffering silently in sin? Have you ever just run from God altogether? If so, then this book is for you. Last paragraph. Jesus can return for us at any moment. Will we be ready? Will we serve in church our whole lives and then hear him say, "Depart from me, I don't know you"? Will you continue to run from relationship to relationship and ignore his desire to lead you to your one-day spouse? Will you continue to hate your earthly marriage? Remember, all these things on this earth are temporary, and our groom is coming back for his bride. So it's vital that you are not distracted by the cares of this world. Join Heather as she challenges you to get prepared to meet your groom face to face. Okay, so this book is not, that charge will let you know that this book is really not about, it's not just for ladies, but it's for everybody, both guys and girls. Okay, and then here it says, like, it gives you like a little summary about the author. And I've actually met Heather Lindsey. Not that she would know me if she see me on the streets, but I'll give you the gist at the end of the video, how I met her and my impression. So the book starts off with just the first page that has the name again, the tagline, then the copyright page, then the dedication. I thought it was so cute. At the time she wrote this book, she was pregnant with her daughter Taylor, and she at this time she had not named Taylor, of course. She dedicated this book to her baby girl that was to be born July 2015. And she said as she was writing, the baby was even kicking her at that point, but she just charged her to live a life that's totally dedicated to Jesus. Okay, not saying that she should become a pastor. I think, let me read one part. I don't desire that you become a preacher, a doctor, a lawyer, or anything else. I desire for you to be obedient to the Holy Spirit and are led by him in everything you do. I thought that was so cute. And then the book went on to acknowledgements, but then one thing I noticed is that she didn't title it acknowledgement, she titled it thank yous, which is just simple. If I was ever going to write a book, I would use thank yous instead of acknowledgements. It's just a mouthful of a word. Okay, so she thanked her husband, she thanked her firstborn son, Logan, who was 2 years old at the time, I think, yeah. And then her family, the Pinky Promise Dream Team. I mentioned Pinky Promise, okay? And then Pinky Promise Sisters. I'm part of the Pinky Promise Sisters, so she's acknowledging us. And then next thing, you just go into the table of contents, dedication, thank you, table of contents, introduction, chapter 1. And I'm going to just kind of tell you the titles of the chapters and maybe just something I learned. So chapter 1 was titled, Who is the Bride? Alright, who's the bride? Who is this bride that's running away? Okay, and in that chapter 1 you would find out that you are the bride of Christ. Okay, she talked about her birth story. In this book, one of the things I saw was that she used a lot of her personal life experiences, and I really like that, because some of them you just know that not all of them, I couldn't relate to all of them. Like, for instance, her birth story, she was put up for adoption. Her mom, was going to abort the pregnancy, but at that point she was already far gone or something like that. And she decided not to abort, but then to put up the baby for adoption. So she wasn't raised by her biological parents. She just put out a lot. It takes a lot to put out a lot. Well, chapter 1 is basically talking about the bride, and it's telling you that you are the bride. Okay, you are the bride. Like the church is the bride of Christ. That's how you are the bride. Chapter 2 is saying the runaway bride. That's the title of chapter 2. When you run from God, you run to problems. That's one of the things I learned from there. She painted a scenario I remember reading, and she was saying, just imagine on a wedding day when the groom is waiting at the end of the aisle, and it's the wedding day, and you're well dressed, but instead of going to your groom, you're running away from him. And it was just, I loved the explanation. Okay, I don't want to tell you too much because I want you to get the book. Okay, chapter 3 was about the insecure bride. All right, and she talked about Satan's biggest weapons. One of them is doubt. Satan would want you to doubt anything and everything. And another weapon is fear. One line that stuck with me in chapter 3 was when she said that insecurity is our failure to trust God. Like, if you trust God, you'll be secure. Like, there's nothing to feel insecure about if you trust God. Alright, chapter 4, she was talking about, are you holding on to dimes? This was such a cute chapter to read, because even from the title, dimes are a particular coin. I think 10 pennies make a dime. and it's a very small, I'll put a picture and like a size estimate of, so you know what it looks like. Very small silver coin. It's a US currency, United States of America, a dime. And she said, are you holding on to dimes? She talked about the story of how Logan, her son, was holding on to 2 dimes when I think they were moving or something. He found money from her purse, and he was holding the dimes, one on one hand, and one on the other. So she asked him to give her one, and he had given her one, but then he was holding on to the other one and did not want to let it go. When she eventually yanked it from his hand, he got so upset. And it's funny how she just makes sense out of these regular everyday experiences. Okay, she talked about, are you holding on to dimes? Release completely release it, all right, to God. So are you holding on to dimes? You need to get the book to know how she broke it down. Chapter 5 was talking about, God, I can't do this, God, I can't do it. That was the title. And she was talking about her experience planning the Pinky Promise, the second conference for the Pinky Promise. The Pinky Promise is a movement, or just Google it, Pinky Promise, and with her name, Heather Lindsey. It's a vision that God had given her, which has been going on since, this was 2015, and I think 2015 was the 3rd or 4th edition or something. So it's been a while. She interpreted it to the story in John chapter 6, when Jesus fed the multitude with 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, and how it is just not about what you can do, it's what he can do in you. So chapter 5 really blessed me because of some of the things that God is showing me about my future, so I could relate a lot with chapter 5. Chapter 6, God, I don't understand. God, I don't get it. Here, she talked about how God is not a sugar daddy. God is not your sugar daddy that you can be calling to make your requests. I want this, I want this. Most often than not, God would interrupt your supposed perfect plan. Okay, and that's fine. Even when you don't understand, stay. Chapter 8 was about who do you belong to, and I have to read something from chapter 8 actually on page 117, because when I was reading this book, it just stood out to me like, whoops. 117, okay, and I highlighted it right here. It says, marriage is ministry. Ministry means servant. You get to serve your spouse, but then just a question. But what if he doesn't serve me back? It doesn't matter. Why? Because you do it as unto the Lord, not as unto your spouse. Bam. Submission, this just answer, is service, and it is one to another. It is not one way, okay? Submitting one to another. So ministry is service. This stood out to me, like it popped out in my eyes like this when I was reading this book. And that was in chapter 8, where she talks about who do you belong to. Okay. In chapter 9, Lord, help me with my attitude. Chapter 10, feeling far from God. She gave a personal example about how herself and her husband, Cornelius Lindsey, had gone out on a trip for the first time, being away from their son Logan, and how she was very worried about him. And then she shared 5 steps to staying in his presence. Chapter 11, forgiveness, the purpose blocker. There was a quote she used in that chapter, and I think Nelson Mandela was the one that I heard it first from. The quote said that unforgiveness is like drinking poison and expecting somebody else to die. You cannot hold forgiveness and say, I'm not going to let go. And it's possible for you to really, truly let go. I know people have different levels of hurt that they've been through. Some people have been through sexual abuse, sexual violence, verbal abuse. I don't know where you are on the spectrum of hurting people, but even if you're just on the 0 level or you're on the 100 level, it is possible, because it's not by your strength, it's by the strength of God. So that chapter was really important. Okay. In chapter 12, we talked about being content with your season. Trust God for where you are now, and focus on the cross. In chapter 13, which is the last chapter, it talked about the final marriage between who? Christ and the church. And then she gave an analogy that she explained with the Jewish tradition. I didn't even know this, and I'm even still yet to study it. I was going to study before I refilmed the video, but I just didn't get a chance. The Jewish custom, in the Jewish custom, right, a man, when you get engaged with a woman, as far you both agree that you're getting married, families and whatnot, then the woman wears a veil. That was in an earlier chapter. She wears a veil and goes around everywhere with a veil. That veil signifies to everybody that sees her that this one is taken. Don't go there. That's pretty cool. I didn't even know. Okay, so she wears a veil, goes around, and what happens in Jewish culture is that the man plans everything. And this was what she talked about for the most part in chapter 13, the final marriage. The man plans everything, and the woman is almost like a guest, literally a guest at her own wedding. And what happens is that anytime can be the marriage. Anytime. And that's the same thing with the final marriage between Christ and the church. Are you ready? Jesus can come anytime for the church. So we have to live ready. When he calls you, where will you be? Will you answer? Are you ready? So this is a wake-up call. Please, this book, like I said, the title is Runaway Bride. It's really not about brides and women and ladies. It's about everybody. At the end of the day, guys, when it comes, are you ready? Or will you be ready? Are you ready right now? Okay. If you need to renew your walk with God, please go ahead and do that. I have a video about how to get right back with God. We're all not perfect in this game, and a lot of times we say the prayer like, God, where am I at with you? Okay, it is important. Check yourself. Eternity is what matters. Eternity, that's what matters, guys. At the end of the day, not the amount of houses you build, not the cars that you buy, not the degrees you acquire. Eternity, where are you going to at the end of all of this? All right, so that's all I have on the book review. I'm going to now rate the book. Before I rate the book, let me tell you that gist I wanted to tell you about Heather. So my sister and I, if I can find a picture, I'll find it because we've lost phones and all of that. But I think we posted it somewhere. I'm going to put the picture here. We went for the Pinky Promise conference because at the time we were both living in Florida. My sister was actually living in Florida, and I went there for a 1-year internship. And we were going to go to Atlanta for the Pinky Promise conference. That particular Pinky Promise, the message is still online. She preached this message, the Runaway Bride, and then it was after that she wrote the book, the Runaway Bride, because apparently God was not done with her. There was still a lot of things that she didn't say when she was ministering that she needed to, document in this book. And Heather, if you ever see this video, thank you for saying yes to God, first of all, for committing your life to God, for receiving the vision for Pinky Promise, because I know that even as young girls, my sister and I, it helped us a lot, and just the whole experience of coming to Atlanta, coming for this conference. It was a paid conference, but we were so excited. My sister had a good job, so she paid for my ticket. I mean, we're just all so excited, serving the Lord and just serving the Lord. And we were both single at the time. We're no longer single. We're mommies now. And I also remember that she was pregnant. She was pregnant with Taylor. Taylor is like how old now? Maybe 4. So, and she even has another child, Roman Matthew. I think that's how you say his middle name. Roman. She has another child, Roman. But her ministry is so inspiring. And apart from being, the convener for Pinky Promise and the author of this book, she's also the only wife to Cornelius Lindsey, and they both pastor the Gathering Oasis Church, the Go Church. She frequently speaks at conferences worldwide. Google her if you don't know her. She has a YouTube channel. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Out of 5 stars, how many stars am I going to give this book? I'm going to give this book 5 stars. Yep, because the font, it was easy. It's easy to read. It's easy to understand, and it's very relatable. Okay, so should you buy this book? Yes, please, absolutely. I bought this book on Amazon, and I bought it for $14.99. That's how much I got it from Amazon. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Until next time, don't forget to be the best version of you. Bye.